Hello, my friends. Let me ask you something, heart to heart. Have you ever had your peaceful sleep shattered by that all-too-familiar urge? That feeling that forces you out of your warm, comfortable bed, to fumble your way through the darkness to the bathroom? Not just once, but 2, 3, or even 4 times a single night. Many of us just sigh and think to ourselves, well, that's just a part of getting older. But I'm here today to tell you that each one of those nighttime trips is more than just an annoyance. It is a hidden danger. And here's the nightmare no one talks about. The CDC reports a chilling statistic. Every 11 seconds in America, an older adult is treated in the emergency room for a fall. And a staggering number of those dangerous falls happen during that quiet, lonely walk from the bedroom to the bathroom in the middle of the night. But as a family doctor who has listened to these stories for over 30 years, what if I told you that the solution to safer, more peaceful nights might not be in your medicine cabinet, but waiting for you in your refrigerator? Doctors themselves are amazed that a simple, familiar food, one that many of us already love, could be the key to solving this problem. I'm not talking about theories from a textbook. I'm talking about reality. I'll never forget a patient of mine, a proud veteran from Florida named Robert. He confessed to me that he felt ashamed, that he felt he had lost his dignity, waking up 3 or 4 times a night. He was worried about disturbing his wife and terrified of falling. We tried one small change, something that cost him nothing. Just 2 weeks later, his voice was thick with emotion when he called me. He said, "Doctor, I slept for 6 straight hours, for the first time in over a decade." In today's video, we are going to pull back the curtain on exactly why this happens as we age. More importantly, I will share with you what that miracle food is, and the simple, science-backed way to use it to reclaim your peaceful nights. And please, be sure to watch all the way to the end. I will be revealing a seemingly harmless evening habit that 90% of my patients were making, unknowingly sabotaging their sleep. Avoiding just this one mistake can make all the difference. Everything I'm about to share with you today isn't just my opinion. It's grounded in proven science and the real-life experiences I've seen in my practice for decades. Before we go any further, I truly want to know how many of us share this struggle. If what I've just described feels familiar, if you've ever felt that frustration in the middle of the night, please take a moment and comment a simple yes below. It lets me know I'm not just talking to a camera, and more importantly, it lets everyone else here know they are not alone in this. Alright, let's get started. Alright, my friends. So let's get right to the heart of it. Let's begin with section number 1. Section number 1. Understanding the sleep thief. Why does this happen? So many of us, perhaps for years, have simply accepted these nightly interruptions as an unavoidable part of getting older. We sigh, we get up, and we tell ourselves there's nothing to be done. But in my experience, true power begins with understanding. When you understand exactly why your body is waking you up, you're no longer a victim of circumstances. You're an informed partner in your own health. And the truth is, this isn't about a personal failing or weakness. It's about 3 specific, natural changes happening inside your body as it ages with wisdom and experience. The first change has to do with a very important hormone called vasopressin. Now, that sounds complicated, but its job is quite simple. Think of this hormone as a gentle, reliable night watchman for your kidneys. When the sun goes down and you go to sleep, this night watchman is supposed to patrol your system and send a quiet signal to your kidneys, telling them, "Alright, time to slow down. Let this person rest." It effectively tells the water processing factory in your body to go on a slower night shift. But here is the core issue. As we get older, our body naturally produces less of this hormone. Our night watchman gets a little older, a little slower, and sometimes falls asleep on the job. Without that clear signal, your kidneys just keep on working at their daytime pace, filling up your bladder while you're trying to get the deep, restorative sleep you desperately need. The second reason is something many of my patients are surprised to learn about. It's the sensitivity of the bladder itself. Imagine that when you were in your 30s or 40s, your bladder was like a sturdy, 16-ounce water bottle. It could comfortably hold a good amount of liquid before it even thought about sending an "I'm full" signal to your brain. But over the years, the nerves in the bladder wall can become much more reactive, more sensitive. Now, instead of a 16-ounce bottle, it behaves more like a delicate teacup. A small amount of fluid, maybe just 5 or 6 ounces, less than a can of soda, is now enough to trigger that urgent alarm, jolting you awake even when your bladder is nowhere near truly full. And the third piece of this puzzle involves the kidneys themselves. Just like any hard-working machine, after 60, 70, or 80 years of service, they don't always work with the same youthful efficiency. Think of them like a trusty old water filter on your kitchen sink. It still does the job, but it takes a little longer. This change in rhythm means that sometimes your kidneys are busier, processing fluids later in the evening and overnight, creating an uneven workflow that puts extra pressure on your bladder right when you want it to be at its quietest. So, when you combine these three things, a less effective night watchman hormone, a more sensitive teacup of a bladder, and a slightly slower kidney rhythm, you have the perfect recipe for interrupted sleep. And what does that really feel like day to day? It's not just the inconvenience of walking to the bathroom. It's that constant low-level fatigue that follows you around. It's that frustrating brain fog in the morning, where you can't quite find your keys or remember a name that's right on the tip of your tongue. It can even lead to a shorter fuse, a feeling of irritability, all because your body and brain were never allowed to complete their essential nightly repairs. This brings me right back to my patient, Robert, the veteran from Florida. When he first sat in my office, he didn't just talk about the physical act of getting up. He spoke with a quiet voice about the shame he felt, the embarrassment. He felt like his own body was betraying him, and he was becoming a burden. But a remarkable thing happened when I explained these three natural processes to him. I saw his shoulders relax. I saw the look of self-blame in his eyes disappear. It wasn't his fault. It was just biology. And once you understand the rules of the game, you can start to change your strategy. And our very first, most powerful strategy, it doesn't come from a prescription pad. It comes from the produce aisle, in the form of a beautiful, deep red fruit that holds a remarkable secret to a peaceful night's sleep. If this explanation helped a little light go on for you, if you finally feel like you understand what's happening inside your own body, please do me a favor and comment the word understand below. It's a powerful way for us to acknowledge this shared experience together. Section number 2. The miracle food, the power of cherries. Alright, my friends. Now that we understand the why behind those nightly interruptions, let's talk about the how. How do we start reclaiming our sleep? For years, in the world of medicine, we often looked for complex, expensive solutions. We looked at powerful drugs with long lists of side effects that often cost hundreds of dollars a month. But sometimes, as is so often the case, the most profound answers are the simplest ones. Sometimes, the answer has been sitting quietly in our kitchens all along. The solution I am talking about is cherries. Yes, simple, delicious cherries. Specifically, tart cherries, though all cherries offer benefits. This isn't just folklore or an old wives' tale. This is a truth that modern science is now enthusiastically confirming. Eating these tonight might just be the first step toward a whole new chapter of restful nights and energized mornings. So what is the magic inside this little red fruit? It's not magic at all. It's brilliant, natural chemistry that works in perfect harmony with your body's needs. First and foremost, cherries are one of the very few natural food sources of melatonin. You've likely heard of melatonin. It's often called the sleep hormone. It's the chemical messenger that your brain releases to tell your entire body it's time to power down and enter sleep mode. Here's the crucial link. As we age, our bodies naturally produce less and less melatonin. It's one of the primary reasons sleep can become so fragmented. Taking a synthetic melatonin pill can sometimes help, but it can also lead to grogginess. Cherries, on the other hand, provide a gentle, natural source of this essential hormone, nudging your body towards sleep without the harsh side effects. But the benefits don't stop there. Cherries are also a fantastic source of magnesium. I call magnesium nature's relaxation mineral. In our bodies, magnesium plays a key role in calming down our muscles and our nervous system. This is incredibly important for nighttime bladder control. It helps relax the smooth muscles of the bladder wall, that same wall that can become overly sensitive and reactive. By calming these muscles, magnesium helps prevent those false alarms, allowing your bladder to hold more fluid comfortably before sending an urgent signal to your brain. And finally, cherries contain tryptophan, an amino acid that serves as a building block for serotonin and, you guessed it, more melatonin. Think of it this way. The melatonin in the cherries gives you an immediate, gentle nudge towards sleep, while the tryptophan gives your body the raw materials it needs to build its own stable supply of sleep hormones throughout the night. It's a beautifully designed system. Let me share a story with you. I have a wonderful couple as patients, James and Eleanor, who live out in Texas. For years, they had accepted waking up 2 or 3 times a night as their new normal. They were always tired, always a bit on edge. Eleanor told me she missed her morning gardening, but just didn't have the energy for it anymore. On my suggestion, they started a new evening ritual. After their light dinner, as the sun was setting, they would sit on their porch and share a small bowl of fresh cherries. At first, they were skeptical. But within 2 weeks, something remarkable happened. James was the first to notice. He was sleeping through until 5 a.m. Then Eleanor found she was waking up feeling refreshed, with enough energy to finally get back to her beloved garden. They didn't have to buy an expensive supplement or start a complicated regimen. They simply embraced a small, delicious habit. So, how can you make this work for you? The key is timing and moderation. The ideal way to do this is to have about 1 cup of fresh cherries, half a cup of dried cherries, or a 4-ounce glass of pure tart cherry juice about an hour before you plan to go to bed. This gives your body enough time to absorb all those wonderful compounds without upsetting your digestion. So please, I encourage you to begin this simple, powerful habit tonight. It's a small choice that can lead to a profound change. If you are just a little bit surprised that a common fruit could hold this much power for your sleep, let me know by commenting the word "wow" below. I always love seeing how nature's simplest gifts can be the most effective. Section number 3. 4 common evening mistakes that are wrecking your sleep. Now, introducing a wonderful food like cherries is a fantastic step forward. But just as important as what you add to your routine is what you take away. I've found that many people unknowingly sabotage their own sleep through a few very common, well-intentioned evening habits. Let's go through 4 of the biggest sleep wreckers I see in my practice, so you can make sure these aren't holding you back. The first mistake is drinking too much water after 7 p.m. So many of us have been told, stay hydrated, drink water all day long. And that is excellent advice. Until the evening. Many older adults believe they are helping their kidneys and their overall health by drinking glass after glass of water right up until bedtime. But as we've already discussed, your aging kidneys and bladder simply can't handle that much fluid processing overnight. Filling up your body's tank right before you lie down is like setting a guaranteed alarm clock to go off every 2 hours. I had a patient, a gentleman named David from Chicago, who was a diligent water drinker. He carried a jug with him all day. By simply making a new rule for himself, to finish the majority of his water intake by 3 p.m., he told me he gained an extra 3 hours of uninterrupted sleep each night. That single change was, in his words, life-altering. So, the action here is simple. Front-load your hydration. Drink plenty of water in the morning and early afternoon, and then just small sips in the evening if you're thirsty. The second common mistake is the just-in-case bathroom trip. You know what I'm talking about. It's 9 p.m., you're getting ready for bed, and you don't really have the urge to go, but you think, well, I might as well go now, just in case. While this feels like a smart, preventative measure, what you're actually doing is training your bladder to be weak. You're teaching the nerves in your bladder that even a tiny amount of fluid is a cause for alarm. Over time, these conditions cause your body to send those urgent signals far too early. I worked with a lovely lady from California, Linda, who was a devoted, just-in-case visitor. Her bladder was completely trained to feel full when it was nearly empty. We worked on breaking this habit. She started waiting until she felt a genuine, clear urge to go. It was difficult for the first week, but soon, her bladder relearned how to relax and hold a normal amount of fluid. Her nights became dramatically quieter. The lesson: trust your body. Wait for its real signals instead of acting on anxious ones. The third mistake is the comforting, yet deceptive, late-night beverage. A warm cup of tea, a decaf coffee, or even a glass of milk can feel like the perfect, cozy end to the day. But all of them have a hidden downside: liquid volume at the worst possible time. And some are worse than others. Even decaf tea and coffee contain trace amounts of caffeine, which acts as a mild diuretic, meaning it encourages your kidneys to produce more urine. And while milk doesn't have caffeine, it's still a significant amount of fluid for your bladder to handle right before an 8-hour rest period. The solution is not to give up your comforting drinks, but to simply enjoy them earlier. Move that nightly cup of tea to the afternoon, right after lunch. If you absolutely need something warm and comforting in the evening, try a tiny cup of chamomile tea, which is naturally caffeine-free and known for its relaxing properties. And the fourth and final mistake is snacking on watery fruits and vegetables after dark. A bowl of watermelon slices, a refreshing cucumber salad, or even a hearty vegetable soup might seem like a light and healthy evening choice. But from your bladder's perspective, it's the same as drinking a glass of water. These foods quietly load your system with fluid that will inevitably need to be processed a few hours later, right in the middle of your deepest sleep cycle. I had a patient, Henry, a grandfather from Georgia, who couldn't figure out why he was always up twice a night. It turned out, his healthy midnight snack was a bowl of cucumber slices. As soon as he moved that snack to lunchtime, his evenings became peaceful again. So, enjoy those wonderful hydrating foods, but enjoy them earlier in the day. Out of these 4 common mistakes, drinking water too late, the just-in-case trip, comforting nightcaps, and watery snacks, which one do you recognize in your own routine? Be honest with yourself. It's the first step to change. In the comments, just type the number 1, 2, 3, or 4. This isn't about judgment. It's about awareness. Section number 4. Other allies in your kitchen. While cherries are certainly the star of the show when it comes to combating nighttime urination, nature has thankfully provided us with a whole team of other wonderful foods that can support this goal. Think of these as the valuable supporting cast. You don't need to eat all of them every day, but incorporating them into your weekly meals can create a powerful foundation for calmer nights and deeper sleep. Let's start with nuts, a powerhouse of nutrition. Pecans and Brazil nuts are particularly helpful. Pecans are rich in healthy fats and antioxidants that can help calm inflammation throughout the body, including any irritation in the bladder. Brazil nuts are one of the world's best sources of selenium, a trace mineral that is vital for regulating thyroid and immune function, both of which indirectly play a role in the quality of your sleep. A small handful after dinner can be a satisfying, sleep-supportive snack. Next, let's talk about a few other helpful fruits. Bananas are a classic for a reason. They are packed with both potassium and magnesium, those 2 essential minerals that are famous for relaxing smooth muscles and helping to keep unwanted bladder contractions in check. Another wonderful choice is papaya. It contains a special enzyme called papain, which is fantastic for easing digestion. Why does this matter? Because poor digestion and bloating can put physical pressure on your bladder at night, triggering those urges to go. A few slices of papaya after your evening meal can help prevent this. I had a patient, a retired grandmother from New Jersey named Betty, who swore by her new evening routine, a small banana with a spoonful of peanut butter. She said it not only helped her sleep through the night, but also satisfied her sweet tooth. Now for vegetables. Focus on those that are rich in magnesium and compounds that support collagen. Dark leafy greens like spinach and kale are loaded with that muscle-relaxing magnesium. Gently sautéing some spinach with your dinner is an easy and effective way to get this benefit. Additionally, vegetables like bell peppers and carrots provide vitamin C and antioxidants that help protect the collagen in your bladder lining. A strong, healthy bladder lining is less likely to become irritated and overreactive. And finally, let's not forget dairy, when chosen carefully. 2 excellent nighttime choices are ricotta cheese and plain Greek yogurt. Both are rich in high-quality protein, which provides a slow, steady release of energy and helps stabilize your blood sugar throughout the night. Sometimes, we wake up not because of our bladder, but because of a dip in blood sugar. A small serving of these foods can prevent that from happening. Greek yogurt also offers the added benefit of probiotics for gut health and calcium for muscle relaxation. A half cup of plain Greek yogurt with a few berries or a drizzle of honey can be a wonderfully calming and satisfying end to your evening meal. The lesson here is simple but powerful. Your kitchen is filled with natural tools that can calm your bladder and protect your sleep. By consciously choosing these foods, nuts, fruits, vegetables, and the right dairy, you are giving your body the support it needs to rest and restore itself. To help remember these wonderful options, just take a moment to comment healthy foods below. It's a great way to lock in this knowledge. As we begin to wrap up our time together, I want us to circle back to the story that started it all. Let's think about Robert, that proud veteran from Florida. When he first came to me, he was a man living in the shadows of his own home, afraid of the night, afraid of falling, and afraid of losing his independence. But today, Robert is not just sleeping better. He told me, with a strength in his voice I hadn't heard in years, that he has reclaimed his dignity. He no longer lives with that constant, nagging fear every time the sun goes down. His story, and the stories of countless others like James, Eleanor, and Linda, are living proof that meaningful change is not just possible. It is within your reach. The single most important message I want you to take away from our conversation today is this. You are still in the driver's seat of your own health and comfort. Getting older is not a passive process of surrendering to aches, pains, and sleepless nights. It is an active partnership with a body that has served you well for a lifetime. Your body is always listening, and it will always respond to the care, attention, and wisdom you provide it. So, as we finish, we've explored the hidden causes of nighttime urination, the remarkable power of simple foods like cherries, and the common evening mistakes that can disrupt our rest. But as we all know, knowledge is only powerful when we put it into action. And that brings me to my one most important question for you today. After hearing all of this, what is the one small commitment you are making to yourself, starting this week? It doesn't have to be a monumental change. It can be as simple as, I will try cherries tonight. Or, I will drink my water earlier in the day. Or even, I will stop that just-in-case bathroom trip. Whatever it is, please share your personal commitment in the comments section below. Writing it down is the first step to making it real. And seeing your commitment might just be the inspiration someone else needs to make their own. Let's fill that space with hope and action. And if you found real value and a sense of comfort in our time together today, please show your support by giving this video a like. It's a small click for you, but it tells the world that this message is important and helps it reach others who need to hear it. To ensure you continue on this journey with us and never miss another video full of practical, life-changing wisdom, hit that subscribe button and the little notification bell next to it. It's more than just a subscription. It's your invitation to join a community of friends, all dedicated to living our golden years with health, dignity, and joy together. Finally, I want you to take a moment and think of one person in your life. A friend, a sibling, a neighbor. Someone who you know struggles with restless nights. Please, share this video with them. Your simple act of sharing might be the greatest gift you can give them. The gift of peaceful sleep, brighter mornings, and the quiet comfort of knowing they are not alone. Thank you so much for your time and your trust. I wish you calm nights and mornings full of light and energy. I'll see you in the next video.